can get them playing Donkey Kong Country now. It's on the SNES. On the Switch.
Yeah.
I've been playing that.
Have you also tried, therefore, Natsumi Championship Wrestling?
Yes, it's awful.
Yeah, I was like, how do you actually play this?
It's like if Fire Pro and like Pro Wrestling for the NES had a baby and it came out wrong.
Yeah, it was just like I'm just there kind of going, I'm pushing the buttons, not doing anything.
It's like, how did I Irish whip him? I don't know. What am I doing now? Oh, I've lost.
The moment Stan Hansen is battering me senseless.
It's like some kind of fever dream.
Yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of Stan Hansen, did anyone see the picture of Rey Mysterio in his eye?
Welcome to the Conquistabores. Tonight, the Conquistabores are here to discuss the things they love but you hate about professional wrestling, and then what you love but they hate. It makes sense in the show. Stepping into the ring tonight, the Elite Cameron Phillips, Boom Boom Phil Doyle, the ultra-violent icon Ewan Taylor, and Geordie Allen Milburn. Only tonight on the Conquistabores.
August?
Mid-August.
Oh, no, in England it's September. I think. Oh, well, does Premier League start?
Yeah.
The Premiership starts August, Cam?
August 1st.
Yeah.
Well, to give you an exact, for me, the Scottish Premiership starts at 12:15 on October the 1st.
Who do Killian go, actually? I don't remember.
At Pittodrie.
Oh, lovely. What a nice opening
lovely
game that is.
opening game of the season that's going to be.
Against your bestest pals.
My bestest pals, the sheep fuckers.
Wow.
It's accurate, though. No, we've got... oh, fucking hell. What are we at Hibs? Wonderful.
Oh, lovely.
Yay.
You get to go to Junkieville.
Woohoo!
Oh, sunshine on leaf and brown powder.
What a lovely look into Scottish football I'm getting here. This is amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
yeah. This is the Premiership as well. We've not even got into like the depths of League Two yet.
Depths of hell. And an Athletic versus Brecon.
Bring your own share.
Yep.
They'd always be like on Grandstand, where the League of the South or whatever, Queen of the South 4 or whatever. Be like, who the hell is what kind of place is that? It sounds magical.
Yeah, that's the team that play at Hampden in front of 8 people and a stray dog that keeps turning up.
No, that's Queen's Park.
Queen's Park. Sorry.
Queen of the South. What are we saying about Queen of the South? Queen of the South, bearing in mind I was born in Dumfries.
You all fuck your sister? I don't know. What do you want me to say?
Why isn't Al on this call?
He is, isn't he? This is 4-4.
I'm just listening to all this fantastic fun.
Hello, Al. How are you?
I've been listening to RPGs and Queen of the South and whatever the crap you want to spurt out. There you go.
Wonderful.
Fuck's sake.
Wow.
Well, that's the edge taken care of.
So that's,
yeah. That's the pre-credit sequence sorted out. Boom, done.
Is my Skype recorder actually recording anything? Yes.
Mine looks good since I reinstalled it.
Yes.
Yay.
Boys.
Yes.
Do you know what? This is the first podcast I've recorded in my 40s.
Hooray!
Hey!
Have that.
I keep forgetting I'm not the oldest on this podcast.
Nope. Grandad Phil takes the crown.
Grandad Phil.
I'll be 40 in 2 months.
Yeah. There you go.
I think I'm the youngest here, am I not?
Yeah, I think you are, yeah.
Woohoo!
Because, yeah.
Age will get you eventually, Ewan. There's no escape.
Well, if age doesn't get me, my health will. So, one of the two.
One of the two, yeah.
One of the two.
So have you noticed anything change since you hit 40 then, Phil?
Yes. It's like in The Last Crusade when the guy drinks out of the wrong grail.
Okay.
And just withers to dust overnight. That was it. As soon as it hit midnight, I was like a skeleton.
Nice.
You're doing well for it by the sounds.
Yeah. Thanks. It's
Holy
like,
shit. Sorry. quickly
What?
going back to Scottish football land, have you seen who is sponsoring the Challenge Cup in their cab?
It's Tunnocks Wafers, is it no?
Yeah, it's the Turkish Caramel Wafer Challenge Cup.
Yeah.
The absolute
Wow.
fuck.
That was the same last season.
Was it?
Yeah.
How the hell did we not know that?
The tastiest cup in the land.
The trophy better be just like a giant Tunnocks.
It's a giant tea cake.
Like 3 foot wide.
But they fill the trophy with tea at the end, and they all have tea cake around it.
That's how you do
That's what you
sport.
get.
That's how you do it.
That was a tangent and a half. So, Phil, B40, how depressing is it?
It's no more depressing than the rest of the year, to be honest.
Yeah, there you go.
So, like this year, I've had a pandemic. I'm 40, and I'll have been in my job for 10 years in November.
Oofed.
It's just like, poof, poof, poof. I'm just miming punches to the face there.
Did anything good happen on your 40th birthday?
Yeah, I had a lovely day, actually. See, because the cinemas were supposed to open on the Friday, but they didn't because they pushed everything back. So we went to the mother-in-law's and, socially distancing appropriately. And they got me a projector for my birthday, and they set up in the garden inside, what's it called?
Gazebo?
Yeah, gazebo. It was like a little cinema for me.
Oh, nice.
So the screen, the key with the screen started set up in there. I had like the deck chairs in there to sit on, sweets and popcorn and stuff. I had like a little cinema on my birthday. It was magical. It was brilliant.
What you watch?
We watched Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back.
Okay.
Because that would have actually, I think, been in the cinema because cinema was re-releasing it because it's 40 years old this year. And then the internet crapped out and I had to watch something else. So.
Oh.
That's a shame.
But it was real nice. It was real nice. And I got some new Bluetooth headphones.
Oh.
That I'm wearing right now.
All right.
Yeah, I got a Mets little mini baseball bat and all kinds of lovely stuff. It was,
I saw the photo of that, yeah.
Yeah, it is well.
little Mr. Met, little pop
Yes,
with him.
I am very jealous of that. I want that Mr. Met.
No, you can't have it. He's mine. So yeah, I had a lovely time. I had a big banner and all balloons in the front room when I came downstairs on my birthday day, so it was lovely.
Oh, there you go.
But nature's done with me now. I'm just a husk waiting to die.
Well,
Aye.
I mean, aren't we all husks?
I mean, I
at
don't
the
want
end
to
of the day?
bring the mood down, but it's just I'm on the path to death now.
Is it just downhill now? Have
Just
I got-
downhill
have I
now.
got all this to look forward to next
Yeah.
March?
Yeah,
Al's
essentially. Yeah.
to look forward to in September.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Obvious question, because people always ask, Alan, have you had your tea?
Yep, I've literally just finished it.
Okay.
What was it tonight?
Are we going to play the L game?
Do you want to guess?
Yeah, okay.
All right, okay. I'm going to go pizza.
I was going to say that.
You said pizza last time.
Did I?
Yes.
Okay.
Right. So last time, I believe it was a microwave roast dinner, wasn't it?
It was a
Yes.
microwave Sunday roast dinner.
That one was, yes.
Yeah. So I'm going to stay in that genre of microwave dinners, but I'm going to go to a microwave all day breakfast.
No, I've had that in the past, but no, not tonight.
Okay. I'm going to say an oven lasagna.
Ooh.
No, I've had that in the past as well, but no.
Okay, what was it?
It was pasty, chips and beans.
Oh, it was close.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
It was
Right.
quite nice.
What
Well,
kind
like
of
a
pasty?
Cornish pasty?
Chicken and mushroom pasty, it was nice.
Ah.
I must
nice.
admit, I ventured off to the pub today.
Oh, no.
Which
Kill
one?
surprise.
The one just down the road, join us by Sainsbury's.
Oh, I was going to say, because about 4 pubs have had to bloody shut now in Carlisle. Not because
Yeah.
of had outbreaks.
One of them. I tried to go the safest option. To be fair, I was sitting right on my own on the other side of the bar with no one around me, so I'll be very surprised if anything.
Al,
Yeah.
what changed?
Oh, that's harsh.
I know, sorry.
I mean, it's accurate, but it's harsh.
I had a few pints and I got a bit drunk and I've had a sleep and I'm still not completely sober. But,
Nice.
Awesome.
and I've got-
Nice. So Alan is half cut and chicken and mushroomed up.
Nice. Just to continue the pasty chat for a second, I think a while ago I bought one of the Ginsters Moroccan vegan patties, and they were really nice.
Oh, okay.
I don't rate Ginster's stuff.
I did, but it was £1, and I was hungry at lunchtime at work.
Ginster's just reminds me of like shitty like service station food.
Yeah, I was gonna say the only time in my life I've ever had a Ginster's is in motorway service stations.
Yeah, when the Burger King shut or the queue's too big, you can't be
yeah, and you just like you can't be bothered.
The horrendously overpriced store.
I'm not going to argue that opinion, but this Moroccan vegan one, was real nice.
What was it made of? What was the meat substitute?
It was Moroccan vegan stuff.
So this new genre of Moroccan vegan stuff.
Was it made from Moroccan vegans?
Yes. I've just googled it. Hang on, there we go. Ginster's Moroccan pastry.
Can't spell Moroccan apparently. Oh, there we go.
Butternut squash, chickpeas, apricots, dates, red picante pepper in a red harissa and Moroccan camoula sauce with potato, onion, tomato and spring onion wrapped in a tight puff pastry.
So basically the entire vegetable section stuffed in a vegan pasty.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it was nice. I had a good time.
A Moroccan pastry from a Cornish company.
I'm not saying it's right.
It's just,
but I'm easily entranced by cheap deals at lunchtime. What can I say?
Usually entranced by cheap things. That says a lot.
I didn't say cheap things. I said cheap deals at lunchtime.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, is that the intro sorted then? Is that enough?
Yeah. So we had Al's dinner, we've had Scottish football, we've had pasty chat.
Yep.
I think that's it, isn't it?
Well, I was going to ask how you all cooked bacon.
In the oven.
In the oven, yeah.
In the oven?
Yeah.
I see. Fry mine. Al?
I don't know. My friend makes mine.
That's the best answer I've ever heard for that question.
I can't. How do you counter that?
How by friend? Do you mean your house servant or something? Or?
No. My Irish friend.
Oh right, okay, fair enough.
It just appears out the kitchen in the sandwich. I'm like,
wow, that's incredible, isn't it? And does it appear out of her kitchen as well in a sandwich?
Yes.
Wow.
No, I in the oven on some foil for about 20 minutes or so.
Yeah.
Comes out beautifully cooked, full in the bin. Job done.
There was like a thing I've just clicked on just now. Before we started recording this, that just those things like you've been cooking bacon wrong all your life.
Yeah.
And I was like, go on then, I'll have a click of that. And I read it, and it was this long spiel about, there's this chef, and he's got these restaurants, and he cooks for the Queen, and la 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 la, and la la la. And we've been cooking bacon all wrong all our life. And all it said was, make sure the pan is hot.
I love a good cold bacon sandwich. That's fair.
Yeah, I love a good raw bacon. Well, apparently it's like people just put it on like a medium heat and then slowly cook it, and that's rubbish.
That's
you want to
have warm ham. You might as well just go get cooked ham at the fridge and slap that in a roll and be like done with it.
Yeah, but and I'm just sitting there reading it, going, I've done that annoying thing of just being trolled into clicking this, and this useless information I had in my life. And I just thought I was being odd. I've always done that.
Right, I think I've been on this call 20 minutes and we've not mentioned wrestling once.
Are you surprised?
This is important bacon chat, Al. Come on.
Oh, sorry.
Anyway, yeah, we'll crack on with the wrestling. It's just enough bacon, Moroccan pasties, Scottish football.
All being dead.
That'll be the cover thing on Facebook for the week when I put the episode. Be Ginster's pasty at the top, not a picture of a wrestler or anything. Episode 34. Pasty chat.
Pastygate 2020.
Pastygate, wonderful. So, this is a round table, isn't it?
Oh, Jesus Christ, yes.
It is. Well, we might as well just jump in.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah, because we've been so organised so far.
We're so organised so far. Who came up with this idea to do?
I think this was like... I think we all kind of came to this conclusion through a chat on the Slack, and I think the off show, because this topic went through a couple of evolutions before we reached where we are now. But the topic this time around on the round table is things in wrestling you hate but everyone loves, and the opposite, things in wrestling you love but everyone hates.
Which is brilliant.
Yes.
Think about it.
Why have we never done this one before?
Okay, so how are we organized? Are we all going to go around with the things we love and then go around again with the things we hate? Or are we all going to go around individually?
Yes, I would.
Yeah, so, should you do the hate first and then do the love last?
I was going to say, should we do the hate first and then get out of the way and
get out of the system?
End on a positive. End with some love, boys.
Why?
End with a cuddle.
That's how. That's how I like to end things.
I start with one.
You start with well. Sometimes they start with that, and sometimes they end with that as well, Ewan.
As long as there's a cuddle in there somewhere, you know.
Yeah, as long as there's a cuddle in there somewhere. Well, there has to be sort of some kind of close proximity at some stage.
A proper socially distanced cuddle, it's fine.
I just stand into the room and just throw it when I'm done.
You know what? I have no clue what we're talking about right now.
That's
but I know it's not good.
Al, what do you hate in wrestling everyone loves? Go.
Oh, I don't want to start. Somebody else should start.
Oh, for crying out loud. Cameron, go.
Right.
Oh God, save this show. I'm
going to save this show, right? And here's the thing. I kind of like got this part of the roundtable invite, the sort of thing you hate but everyone else loves. It's more, I think hate's probably a strong word, but it's more the kind of thing that I don't get this set of wrestlers, and I seem to be like the only one on earth that doesn't. And I'll have to whisper it, and because I feel that I might get bombarded, but I don't get the Young Bucks.
See, when we have that in the podcast, in the edit, I'll do like a dun 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 underneath it.
Fair enough. Carry on. But I do not understand the appeal behind the Young Bucks. Every single Young Bucks match I've seen follows pretty much the same formula. They kind of get leathered for a little bit, and then they always come back and looking, not selling any injuries at all. And then they spring up with like an indie taker or something like that, or a Meltzer driver, and then that's it. And I just find they as characters, they come across as the really, really annoying bastards in the classroom that you just wanted to slap, but for some reason they're popular and they're supposed to be faces. And I don't understand them. If anyone can explain to me why the Young Bucks are a thing.
So have you always had that opinion back to when, like, the pre-AEW, back when they were, like, in the Bullet Club and that sort of period before they kind of blew up as themselves?
I always thought when you watched the Bullet Club stuff, they were just like this scraggy little gets just kind of going, yeah, you're going to fight him, yeah, you're going to fight him, yeah, well, we won't, kind of thing. And, like, for some reason they're getting cheered for that, and I'm just like, I don't know, and and they'd always like go on this, you have to watch their YouTube show to understand their promos and understand what the hell they're going on about. Like, no, I don't want to watch your YouTube show. I don't want to watch Be the Elite, thanks, cheers. I just want to watch a decent wrestling match with a tag team that'll actually sell. They're essentially wimpish road warriors. They sell nothing.
What a description.
I've never heard.
And that's it. And then for some reason it's like, oh, they always just come back and win anyway. And I'm just like, no, I don't. I just don't understand them. I find them really annoying. Not in a kind of heelish way, because as I say, for some reason they're supposed to be the faces and all this. But I just want them to go away, thanks.
Would you like them more or less if they played up the heel aspect? Like, if they were heels, would they be more acceptable?
Oh, if they were like outright heels and you're supposed to boo them, then yeah, they'd make total sense.
Okay.
Because they are that little kind of like, I just look at them and want to slap them.
Yeah.
Well, like, wasn't like 3-4 years ago they were heels, weren't they?
They did do a heel turn in PWG for a little while, but they eventually turned face again because I don't think they can play heel very well.
I remember them, like, there's a video of them super kicking a kid. Which just made me laugh hysterically. Like, it was so funny. But yeah, I think like I remember them being like, because the Bullet Club initially were so they were heels in Japan, but they just got over everywhere else, if I remember rightly.
They were like the NWO kind of like cool heel thing of like, you know, as soon as you have a group that can like wander around a federation, do whatever we want, then that means they're kind of like become sort of unpredictable and they become sort of exciting to watch. And then they automatically kind of become faces. So the Bullet Club for me had that kind of NWO thing. Well, obviously they did anyway with being sort of black and white T-shirts and all that kind of jazz.
Yeah.
But they had that kind of annoying thing of you're supposed to be booed at the building, yet people are buying your T-shirts. And it doesn't quite sit right. So yeah, they were part of that. And I just don't understand them. I don't understand them.
I did get, the Elite, etc. at first, but to me now, it's gone on too long, being the exact same thing as you said over and over again. And I don't watch AEW. I don't really follow what they're doing much anymore, but whenever I see like a tweet or I see a gif or whatever, it's the same shit they've been doing for the best part of 6 years. There's been no evolution. It's just they've changed what letters of the tag belts that they're going for or whatever. To me, it just seems to be they found a gimmick, they're happy with it, they ain't gonna evolve it or do anything risky with it, because why would you give up that sweet merch money? But they've become one-dimensional and really stale, in my opinion anyway. So I don't think that's a controversial thing to say, just like the Young Bucks. I know plenty of people that don't like them, and I completely get that, but I can also see the other side as well, why people do enjoy them, because they are gigantic dicks. But if you're that much of a dick, really, should you be a face? I don't think so.
That'd be my point. He shouldn't be a face. I have a big problem with cool heels for that reason.
Yeah.
But that would be mine anyway.
Okay.
I find like I'm pretty okay with them. Like I quite like them, but then I don't think I really watched them much before. Like I was aware of them in like the Bullet Club and PWG and that kind of stuff, but I wasn't going out of the way to watch their matches. It's only really like in the last 18 months, I suppose, I was kind of properly started watching them, so I haven't been overexposed. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I really like Being Elite. Actually, I think some parts of it are really funny. Not necessarily their bits, just the entire vibe of the show, which we'll come back to probably later on. Actually, a little bit. But yeah, and I quite enjoy like with. Yeah, I think it depends on who they're in the ring with. Like their match recently, like was it a Fyter Fest? The one they had with the FTR and the Lucha Brothers and Butch and the Blade. That was really good. I really enjoyed that one. But then that's because it was like a good mixture of characters, and they kind of mix things up a little bit with, everyone expected them to be feuding with FTR. Then they're kind of like pals. But they're kind of not a little bit. It's that kind of shaky friendship thing, which was quite good in the match. So, yeah, I think I've got no kind of negative feelings towards them overly at the moment. But in like a year or so, that might change. Who knows? But I think it's because I've not been overexposed to them, I don't think so.
Well, I've never seen them in my life, so there you go.
Wow.
There you go.
Alan, I'm half tempted now to just send Al a YouTube link for a Young Bucks match, and then because he obviously won't be exposed to it at all beforehand. See what he reckons.
Yeah, I think for me, I watch New Japan quite religiously, so I've seen when they first appeared through to them sort of becoming the leaders of the Bullet Club, then becoming the Elite, and then eventually leaving to go to AEW to create AEW. So to me, I think I am in the camp of I've seen the same thing too many times. So unless they do something different or freshen up a little bit, I don't see myself coming around to enjoying them to the level somebody like maybe yourself, Phil, who's maybe not had years of exposure to them like myself and Cam might have. To somebody who's never seen them before, I can completely get why you think they are the greatest thing ever, because compared to what you're seeing perhaps with WWE or maybe other indie stuff you've seen, they do have something unique. But the problem is that uniqueness is lost if you've watched them longer than a year.
Okay.
That's probably fair.
Maybe that's just it then. Maybe I've just seen a bit too much of them in the build-up.
Well, I might do my next. I might kind of feeds on from that.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if it does. The thing I kind of hate most that I think people love about wrestling, because it seems to be what drives a lot of the culture around the websites and stuff, is the kind of spoiler culture around wrestling, where everything needs to be known straight away, if not before the actual events happened. And I find it gets in the way of the enjoyment of the shows, for me at least.
In what respect? If you got an example of what you mean?
I don't really got an example, but it's like how, in the lead up to like a Royal Rumble, it's always trying to find out who everyone's trying to find out who the surprise entrants are. They're always trying this person's turned up, this person's turned up. I'd rather I suppose the example there is like when Edge was in last year's Royal Rumble. Like, they kept that so hidden, so when he turned up, it was like an amazing surprise.
Yeah.
But go back a couple of years when AJ turned up, everybody pretty much knew AJ was going to be there.
Yeah.
So when he turned up, it's like, oh, cool, yeah, it is AJ. While they'd be like, holy crap, look, what? Sort of moment,
Well, yeah, you mean in like the fact, I was going to say, because AJ wasn't confirmed as being in the WWE, but he was a free agent at the time. It was confirmed he'd left New Japan after Wrestle Kingdom on the 4th of January. But he wasn't like definitely in for the Royal Rumble.
No.
Because they still had to hide him. Was it AJ Styles that not like pretended to be part of the production crew?
Yeah, he basically played in the production crew.
Him in the building. Yeah, they had like a cap on and the production crew like luminous vest on and all this kind of stuff just to get him in the building. So, I mean, is it something that's more prevalent now with spoiler culture that they're actually having to pre-tape Raw? I
would have thought so, because remember there was the end of NXT last week was spoiled. Well, there was a wrestler that posted an Instagram post by mistake, didn't he?
Yes, I saw that.
You saw who won the end of who won the NXT championship at the end of the matches and stuff. But it's that drive to like. It also like. I think I find WWE does this a lot as well with the documentaries. They're like doing documentaries about stuff before it's had chance to become a moment. Like, they kind of go back and they'll do stuff about, Austin's 316 promo or some kind, the King of the Ring stuff that's had like chance to become like iconic in the sport. Like a week after something happens, they'll be like, right, here's the background. Here's like the background show behind, that day, whatever. And it's like stuff just needs time to breathe and become a moment before it needs to be kind of taken apart and cut to shreds. It's like, they have camera, like again, back to the Edge stuff although I'm kind of like going to contradict myself here, like the documentary they did about it was amazing. About that one about Edge coming back to the ring was brilliant. Mm-hmm. But did it need to be out like a week after he comes back from the Royal Rumble?
I know what you mean, because it's used as a tool to promote Edge being back, as opposed to just being a document of his time coming back. Yeah, it needs to be like like a year or so later. Yeah, fair enough. But it's like they're trying to drive the background stuff. Because, kayfabe's dead, and I think that's pretty much clear, isn't it? There is hardly any kayfabe anymore, unless you're like Bray Wyatt or Chris Jericho last year when he was a heel in WWF or something, It's very rare that someone will fully commit to kayfabe. So they're all like, it seems like as soon as the show's done, they're already putting out the background, the behind the scenes documentary about the event straight away. And it's like, no, I'd rather us decide what moments become iconic and need to be looked at and talked about in the future, rather than being defined by the company straight away. Yeah, because almost by the company defining it themselves, it feels fake and manufactured and makes the whole experience it makes the whole experience almost false. They try and like manufacture a WrestleMania moment, don't they? Like the one of the recent ones I never liked was Shane diving off the Hell in a Cell. Oh yeah, it's been done before. Foley did it, made it iconic. But there you go, just trying to manufacture a moment that didn't need to be there, because the match itself didn't need to be there, because we all know it's fucking terrible. Yeah, it's just trying to manufacture something that people will go, oh my, Jim Ross could go, oh my god, in front of that, oh my god, that's sort of thing. And then like the next day on the network, they'll have like the WWE 24 episode of Shane McMahon on the day, kind of preparing for it and stuff. And it's like, I don't always need to see the behind the scenes stuff. I just need the show to be good and enjoy it. And then, 18 months in 2 years' time, then we can kind of go look back at it and once we kind of go, geez, wasn't that really good? Yeah, it was. Here's the thing about how we did it sort of stuff. But it all just kind of like, the idea of like spoiling how things are done like that quickly is kind of a bit frustrating. It's not frustrating. It's just like, can we just enjoy it? You know what I mean? I think that also goes back to the fact that
these moments that we're talking about earlier in the 316 promo, this was back in the era where the pay-per-view was your one shot to get something out there, whereas now it's almost, I mean, WWE are now running what they now call special events. That's how, deducted they are now of any sort of real meaning, but they feel the need to produce something every 2 weeks that has that one gotcha moment, whereas before you perhaps got an entire year, but then you get that one moment that sticks out above all else, whereas now you've been fed moment after moment after moment, and eventually they all just become the same. They all don't
the thing
mean
kind
anything.
of becomes the organicness of it is lost, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
Of things
exactly
kind of
right.
brewing up, and like very rarely, like Daniel Bryan was like an organic thing when he kind of came up.
Yeah.
Around WrestleMania 30 time, but that was probably more. It became a corporate thing, obviously, but I think the start of it was organic sort of thing. So, yeah, it's just like I don't need wrestling to be dissected quite as quickly as it is. I'd rather kind of be able to enjoy it for the moment of the show, and then we'll talk about it on the podcast in 3-4 years time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Total sense to me. Yeah. I get that.
But it feels like everybody else must love it because, there's obviously so many websites that live and breathe based off that kind of thing, the behind the scene rumors, the shoot interviews, all that kind of stuff of things that happen, not stuff like, shooting is probably a separate thing because, a lot of the time they are like 10 years stuff in the past, which we should be talking about. But it's more the kind of thing like, the culture behind wrestling always seems to be like, I want to know what's going to happen straight away before it's actually happened. And it's like, just enjoy the moment, just live in the moment and enjoy it, sort of thing. So
I think that whole comes from the fact that now pay-per-views are, sometimes you're talking about, maybe you're talking $4.95. Let's say you want to know before you plump down that money whether or not that show's going to be any good. So if you're that bothered, you're going to seek out the information. And to be honest, a lot of the websites out there are basically just cut and pasting what's in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, let's be honest. So the fact that they're there, I get why people like them. I'm one of them. I do like knowing sort of inner workings of things, but that's only because I want to know whether or not it's worth giving my time, because I've got limited time I could spend watching something.
I can understand that.
I want to make sure that I'm not committing or giving anything financially to something that I'm going to hate. But I feel, having watched wrestling for over 20 years now, I've kind of got a good idea of that myself now. When I see something, I see matches just laid out, I look at the card and go, is that worth £20 or is that worth £10 or whatever it is? And I can pretty much tell from what's there and perhaps a little bit of promo whether or not I want to plump down for that.
Like, the card should be what drives you to watch the show, and the people that are in it, and the feuds or whatever, that should be what drives you to buy it, not being able to find out the results or whatever. I don't know. It's just like, I'd rather just be able to enjoy the shows in for their own, so they can stand on their own and just, we can enjoy them on that kind of basis. So
yeah.
Okay. Is Alan ready to go?
Oh yeah. Okay, if you want me to go, I'll go.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Get some more beers in him first.
Well, no, I've had enough. This is right. I watched this storyline as a child. Well, not quite child, sorry, teenager. And I hated it. I absolutely hated it. But everyone else loved it. And I'm going to tell you what it is. It was Austin versus McMahon.
Oh, whoa!
And sorry,
that's the hottest of hot takes.
I just thought it was the fucking stupidest thing I'd ever watched in my life. Right?
Okay.
I mean, bear in mind, I love the old school. I love the 80s, the Hogan era, and all the rest of it. When it was a sport, right? Or portrayed as a sport, anyway, right? So here we go. It's like, after that, I don't want you champion. After that, I do Austin, right? I'm like, okay. And Austin's like, here he is. Oh, look, he's pouring cement in Vince McMahon's car, right? After that, after that. It's like, okay, well, you know what? Just fire him. Just fire him. You've got fucking video evidence of him destroying your car. Take that to the police. He's then in prison. There you go. Problem solved. But you know what? He's back next week doing some other shenanigans, isn't he? You know?
You know what?
Oh, look, he's back at me in here now. Oh, Austin, oh, I hate you, Austin. Well, you know what? Just fucking pay him to sit at home then. Just do something. No, but then again, he's there again next week. Oh, he's fought security. He's beating up the security team. Arrest him again. I mean, Austin must have a charge sheet. Like, you know, he should be fucking doing life in prison roundabout now, right?
You know what? I completely get why you'd say that. I mean, it is a considering it is one of the greatest feuds in wrestling history. I get why people would dislike it as well, because logically it makes absolutely no sense.
I just thought it was absolutely. I mean, it didn't for me. It didn't help McMahon not being a wrestler. I thought that was that, you know. But I know it got them. You know, it got casuals watching. I don't think it's a wrestling storyline. It's more of a soap opera storyline, and it got all the casuals watching for the Attitude Era. But every week I was just like, let's just same old fucking crap. And McMahon says you'll never get me, Austin. And by the end of the show, he's either making McMahon piss himself, destroying his property, he's doing something. It's just a storyline every single week. You'll never get me, Austin. You'll never get me. And then this is quite funny. I compared it at the time when Newcastle United, right? Because we had Rude Hullet as a manager, and Alan Shearer hated him. You know, it was a big rift. He hated him, and Rude Hullet knew that he couldn't punish Shearer because Shearer's the star. So he went for Shearer's best mate, Rob Lee, who was at the time still a very, very good player, but he made him play in the reserves and stuff like that to get at Shearer. He stripped him of his squad number and made him get in the reserves to try and punish Shearer. Well, you can just imagine on the news, there's Shearer with a cement mixer, pouring cement in the ladies, right?
Wait.
Well, if this is not the highlight, I don't know what else I can tell you.
So you're telling me you'd want to see Stone Cold Alan Shearer pouring concrete into Mr. Hullett's Corvette?
And then Monday morning, they just turn up a trainer like nothing's happened. Right? Yeah. It's like, Alan, you destroyed me car, but don't worry, you're sitting on the bench on Saturday. You know?
I'm just imagining like the sound, like Rude Hullet speaking in a meeting on a microphone to, like, you know, the board at Newcastle, and then all of a sudden, like, there's a glass shattering sound effect, and instead of Stone Cold's theme, it just goes dee 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 dee
with a brown ale truck outside.
That's a Photoshop.
Brown ale truck.
If you want to see a load of can of whoop ass on Rude Hullet, give me a YI.
And then it's reported on Look North, masked men have robbed Alan Shearer's grandma. Oh my god. And then all of a sudden he pulls the mask off. It was me, Shearer. It was me all along. You know?
So
you couldn't disguise Rude Hullet. You'd be able to see his dreadlocks through the top of the hood.
It was me, Shearer. It was me all along. You know?
Rude Hullet and the Undertaker strapping Shearer to a cross in the middle of the stadium, raising them up to the roof.
He's got them strapped to the goalposts, and yeah, you know.
Oh man!
Well, last month we had if RoboCop was one of the Bushwhackers, this month Stone Cold Alan Shearer. What next,
Alan
folks?
Shearer.
Well, I think that the cells realised it was stupid, because later on in the storylines, somebody would take Austin's side who had power, like Commissioner Michaels would take Austin's side, or Linda McMahon would take Austin's side. You know, to kind of make it a reason why he was actually still with the company.
Like Commissioner Lineker would let him carry on playing.
For the first year it was just like every week was just like, oh, I heard you watched it. It's like, well, just sack him. You're the boss, just sack him. Just tell him he can't come back anymore. You know,
having watched
in the building every week.
Having watched the pay-per-views from this time for the blog, I can say that I'm currently on Fully Loaded 1999.
Oh, okay.
And they're still banging on about Austin versus McMahon.
Yeah.
Over a year after it started.
But now it's Austin versus McMahon via Undertaker.
Via Undertaker, yeah. But it's also been like Austin McMahon via Big Show. And we've had Austin McMahon via Dude Love.
Yeah,
Austin McMahon via The Rock.
Yeah.
kind of thing. So I can appreciate what Al's saying, the fact that I am kind of, if you consider that the Austin McMahon thing probably kicked off the night after WrestleMania 14, or maybe just before with the Mike Tyson pull apart brawl type thing. And you got that I'm now in sort of July 99 and it's still going on. And it's just, I can kind of see what Al means by that,
But Jim Ross is on commentary going, everyone would like to do this, they're their own boss and stuff like that. It's like, maybe they will, but there's a reason they don't, and that's because they're getting
It's the basic rule of the land, isn't it? Basic rule of law. You don't go around slapping people, destroying property.
But I just thought it stretched. I know wrestling's you need the kayfabe and all the rest. But to me, it just stretched it so far. Like, why is this guy just keep them hanging around? And there's no storyline reason. If he hates him so much and he destroys his property every week, why on earth would you just let him turn up at Raw every week? It just doesn't make any sense.
Let's cancel this contract. There you go. Not getting paid anymore.
Yeah, don't pay him. Yes, it's like, I'm going to pay you every week to come and destroy and beat up my son and call me names, make me piss me pants. And I know you can say they incorporated in later on that it was ratings and stuff or that they didn't want them going to WCW or they didn't use that words, but they wanted to just keep them under contract and not use them and stuff. That was a storyline very briefly, which kind of made more sense. But no, for the start, it was the very start of it, the first 6 months. Yeah, you just used to turn up on Raw every week and do stupid things and no consequences at all. Just do what you want, Austin. There's no consequences. There's no storyline like writing them out or making it make sense. But no, do what you want. And it's like, and the fact that videotaped it was even worse. It was like it wasn't even like it might be Austin, or somebody's vandalized McMahon's car, but we don't know who
ran over Austin. We don't know who it is at all.
Yeah, no, they would just tape him doing it, throwing cement and stuff in. It's like, well, there you go, just take it to the police. He's done. He's in prison for 3 years. There you go. Time he gets out, problem solved. So anyway, that's my little rant over. But yeah,
that is
frustrated every single week with it.
That is quite literally the greatest thing I've ever heard. I love it because I can completely see that side of the argument. It makes complete sense.
Yeah. I'm just stuck on Alan Shearer with a Newcastle Brown Ale truck just hosing.
So that's where I'm still going back to. Yeah.
I'm not sure who the Pat Patterson person would there be. I'm not sure. I'm trying to think of the assistant manager was back then, but.
Oh God, I don't know who had assistant manager.
Was it John? No, it wasn't John Carver. I don't think. No, I don't know who it was. It was Alan Carr for that. Was Alan Carr? No, I think I got the name wrong. Somebody Carr, I think it was.
Not Alan Carr being the assistant manager.
No.
Surely.
Another thing. Somebody Carr, I'm sure, was the assistant manager of Newcastle. I can't remember off the top of my head. But yeah.
Well,
I don't know how I'm going to follow that.
Good luck.
I don't think I can, to be honest. I'm going to try. So, the thing in wrestling that really, really, really gets on my nerves and I just hate, but people seem to like it, is fans in the arena trying to either get themselves over, starting chants, and in particular football-style chants at wrestling shows. Stop doing it. You are not smart. You are not clever. You are there to watch the show. Just react like a normal crowd, please. It's not hard.
I think there was a small window when it was good, but it very quickly got old.
It's so old, and I literally turned on a WXW show fairly recently to watch it, and I had to turn it off because literally within the first 10 seconds of the opening match, it was literally a chant that went on for about 10 minutes. I just was like, no, I can't do this. This is just no. I understand being enthusiastic in a crowd. I've been enthusiastic in plenty of wrestling crowds, but I'm not acting like a twat. essentially, to try and get myself over, look cool in front of my friends, etc., etc. I'm appreciating what I'm seeing in the ring. I'm appreciating what the people out there risking their lives are doing. I'm not there to start a stupid wee chant about wee Jimmy fucking a Doug or whatever it is.
Well, it was them shows after WrestleMania in the recent years.
Oh, yeah.
There was that one where they were chanting for Benoit and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of thing. It's just like, I get people are excited. Of course they're excited. They're watching whatever it is. But maybe this is just me because I've become a grumpier person in general, and I don't watch a lot of American / UK wrestling anymore, to be honest. I watch a lot more Japanese stuff now than anything else, and the crowd over there are completely different, as you all know. Yeah. But every time I try to go back to watch American wrestling, I'm instantly irritated by the crowd.
I think like the inflection point for me was they had that NXT London show.
Oh Lord, yes.
Which, like, because it was like load of football kind of based chants, and it being an English crowd, it was like it kind of made the atmosphere good.
It made it
and
unique for that one show, but
yeah, exactly, for that one show it was good. But then it seemed like all the other crowds kind of went, like we can do that as well, and then it just seemed to snowball after that. It kind of became more and more of a thing, and it's like, well, you don't have to do that anymore.
No, it also makes no sense.
Yeah, it became less the wrestlers, because back in the 90s, a lot, the crowd were kind of doing chants on with the wrestlers all the time. But it was kind of directed and flowed by the wrestlers based on what they were saying,
Exactly.
Whereas now it seems to be the crowd forcing themselves onto the event in the ring, kind of regardless of what's going on in it. Which, I understand the crowd gets bored, they're going to turn on the event,
Of course, that's always happened. I'm not saying that they shouldn't do that.
The beach ball thing a while ago.
Yeah.
With what Cesaro brilliantly did by just tearing it in half.
Oh, yeah.
Just ripped it in half because why not?
What I think's hard is like any wrestler who went out in the 90s, I reckon maybe 80% of that audience believed in what you were doing. Like, maybe 80% is high, but the majority of the audience believed what you were doing was real. But then as it went on throughout time, now you're sitting in an audience, what you got? 10% of audience believe it's real? So they know it's all scripted and stuff, so that they kind of don't have the interest. They just, like I said, they want to try and hijack the show from themselves and stuff like that. And even though a match is sometimes good or okay, they'll just not clap it, or they'll boo it, or they'll boo the face. Just to, it's like, it's changed, hasn't it? It's like,
I think
back in the day they wouldn't do that.
No, because back in the day they were actually reacting to what was happening in the ring. If you were chanting abuse at somebody, it's because they were doing something in the ring or on the outside or interfering that you didn't agree with. Whereas now it's people just chanting stupid stuff for the chance to go, oh, I said that on TV. It's like, yeah, you're a tit.
Yeah, I think there's very few wrestlers like, in the 90s, someone started a chant or something, like Austin or Rock or somebody would be able to kind of redirect the crowd. Like Chris Jericho in AEW, when he kind of came out with Jack Hager and the crowd started doing the We the People chant. And like Jericho just stepped on it straight away, and they've not done it since.
This man right here, this giant behind me, you may think you know who he is, but his real name is Jake Hager. And Jake Hager, he's a former world champion, but more importantly, right here, right now, he is the toughest, most terrified, most crazy MMA fighter in the world today. Okay, hold on. Hey, calm down for 1 second. Calm down for 1 second. We the People sucks, and it's dead and buried. It was a stupid idea from bad creative, and all that's gone.
He very quickly got rid of that, by turning onto the crowd effectively. I think he's one of the few people left who can do that to a crowd, who can guide them.
Yeah.
And bend them to where they want. But I think most other wrestlers, if that happened to, God bless Roman Reigns, but if that happened to him when he's in the middle of a promo, he's not going to necessarily be able to move a crowd along to something else or
No,
redirect the crowd.
if anything, he'll make it worse.
Yeah, exactly.
The worst thing ever invented in wrestling, in my opinion, is the what chant.
Yeah.
It had its time in the sun, but now it's now every week.
Promos.
Yeah, that's true. It's just
whether it's. I know this is not the best example because it was like a crappy storyline, but Kane was trying to cut that promo on Katie Vick. Yes, it was a terrible storyline, but all you had was what June it all. But that's just the example that springs to mind. There's other promos where they're trying to be good or serious or trying to get, and it's just the crowd are just like what, you know, and it's the worst. I never liked it at the time. I thought it was ridiculous at the time. And I think even Austin is said on somewhere that he didn't think it was the best idea looking back.
Yeah, you kind of put that there as the start of this? Because that seemed to be when the baton was passed to the crowd from the wrestlers, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. I think probably that was one of the moments.
Yeah.
It's just,
and CM Punk chants?
Well, yeah, that's just...
It's all other thing.
Yeah, he's back. He's doing backstage. Oh, wait, that got cancelled. Never mind.
Never mind.
But...
Oh, sorry, quickly. Has it been cancelled?
Backstage, I think so.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Sorry, I didn't know. Yeah, that's news to me. Okay. Right.
Yeah, it got cancelled a few weeks back.
Oh, I didn't read it. No, it's interesting. That is that the Fox special? Yeah.
Yeah. That's the
Fox Sports one.
Yeah. So
it means that Samoa Joe's at a bit of a loose end as well.
Well, with any luck, his contract's due up soon. Can escape if he wants to, of course.
Well, I think I remember reading, not that she's a wrestler, but Renee Young's contract was up soon as well.
She's getting the hell out.
So she'll be
getting the hell out.
I wonder where she might end up going.
Can't imagine for a second.
I hope it doesn't start with an A.
It might be sort of on the road with her husband.
That would make sense.
Yeah, it would make a lot of sense for them point, yeah.
Yeah, but to me, it's just crowds in general. Just, they've changed, and maybe it's just the grumpy old man in me, but I don't like it. So
Fair
that's
enough.
that. I know people absolutely adore it. I know people adore what wrestling has become as far as being a spectator. But to me, I'm there to watch the people in the ring. I'm not there to make myself a spectacle. The spectacle is in front of you.
It'll be interesting to see, like, once crowds are back to wrestling, if that continues.
It'd probably be worse.
Or this gap is enough to kind of shake it up.
You'll get everyone's had it pent up for the last sort of 5-6 months, and then they'll just be like,
we lose chat. This is awesome at something straight away.
Oh,
probably.
Lord. That's an Impact Wrestling special.
There'll be like one like arm bar at the start of a match, and it'll be just like, "This is awesome."
This is wrestling. Yes,
should I say the really crap like chant I cannot stand at local shows?
You can't wrestle?
Yeah, exactly. You can't wrestle. Yeah. I just hate that one. Usually spoken by the most out of shape people in the room, and you're there going, really?
You can't breathe by yourself, therefore.
Yeah, it's just like, really?
To be fair, I think the Great Khali starts that in his own matches.
Well, yeah.
Well done, Al. I appreciate that. But yeah, so that's that. So let's go on to the happy side of things. But what's the thing that you all like that people detest? I guess we'll start with Phil.
Yeah, I'll go. I think it kind of feeds in a little bit to what we were talking about earlier, is that the thing that I love that I think some people don't like, well, like a large pit doesn't like, is I just love the daftness of wrestling.
Orange Cassidy.
How many times I'ma tell him I ain't never been to bust or suck, I'm the same OG. How many times I'ma tell him I ain't quitting, I ain't stopping, gotta hustle for my family. Got bills getting stacked up. Can't wait to tell my mama she could pack up.
Orange Cassidy.
How many times I'ma tell him I ain't never been to bust or suck, I'm the same OG.
It's like I'm Orange Cassidy. If you ask him,
Like, it's going to be hard for me to quantify this, so I'm going to struggle with this one. But, like, the Stadium Stampede that AEW did, like, it was just daft and it was brilliant. Nick Jackson doing a Northern Light suplex, Sammy Guevara, like the entire length of the football pitch. You know, it makes no sense, but I thought it was brilliant. Chris Jericho giving the Judas effect to the mascot. because he was just there. Like him throwing the what did he challenge to play when the ref counted 2 and they went into the thing to check on the replay monitor and stuff. Like all that kind of daftness and kind of going back. Like a lot of the kind of broken Matt Hardy stuff, like that's just daft, but it's brilliant. And comedy stuff with Kurt Angle and Edge and Christian and stuff in the kind of the Attitude Era. But I think like a lot of people seem to want wrestling to be a lot more kind of po-faced, a lot straight, a lot more serious. But I've always feel like we're talking about with the Austin stuff, that kind of suspension of disbelief. You are watching 2 grown men having a pretend fight in a ring. So it's inherently daft. So I think I quite like it when things kind of lean into that. Orange Cassidy recently, like I've been loving the Orange Cassidy stuff in AEW. Like that gimmick just shouldn't work, but because he's committing to it and properly going for it, it's just turned out to be actually quite really, really good. And I know the kind of Jim Cornettes of this world, they will say like he's killing the business, it's not wrestling, it's this and that, but like wrestling can be so many things. It doesn't need to be defined to just one thing. And embracing that side of stuff, I've got no problems with it at all because wrestling's always been daft.
Yeah, I think wrestling is probably one of the most accessible forms of art, if you want to call it that there is out there. You've got a little bit of everything, and the thing is, there's that many different choices of wrestling you want to watch. You want to watch straight wrestling matches. You've got places like the NWA, you've got places like some places in Japan like that, but if you want to watch something absolutely batshit crazy, you've got your Orange Cassidy, you've got DDT, you've got companies running shows in like water parks and utilizing the slide. Example, the one fairly recently of a figure 4 leg lock being held down
going down the water slide. Yeah,
that's
actually make me laugh to think about it.
There's that many different flavors of wrestling out there that you're going to find something that you'll enjoy. That doesn't necessarily mean everyone else will enjoy it.
Yeah, but
it's something you can enjoy, you connect with, and it's what makes wrestling fun for you. That's the beauty of it. You don't have to like everything. It'd be boring if we all liked the same thing.
Exactly, yeah, but there is that kind of part of the audience that's like, no, wrestling's got to be, 2 barrel-chested men in the sportatorium in 1980s, knocking lumps out of each other. Yeah. And that's the only thing it can be. Well, no, it isn't. It can be, it can be anything up to a point.
I think the important thing is context.
Yeah, I think context and consistency, like as long as the world you're presenting is consistent, then that's fine. Like going back to the Austin McMahon thing, Austin destroying property, and all that kind of stuff doesn't make any sense if you think, in the moment when you kind of break that moment down. But then, wasn't like a year ago Austin got thrown off the bridge by The Rock?
Oh, yeah.
That's attempted murder, and that was captured on film. You know what I mean? Like, if anybody should be in prison, it's The Rock for like the people who stand off the roof. But it's like,
I mean, Big Show got through off a fucking massive roof.
I was going to say, yeah. And the problem there, though, is like he walked back into the stadium at the end of the show completely fine and no one referenced it. Like, he just walked back. No one was like, wait, how did he survive falling off a building? It's like, oh, the Big Show's back. Let's crack on with the match. Yes, I think as long as you're consistent with it, like a lot of the kind of Matt Hardy stuff, the broken Matt Hardy stuff, probably outside of WWE more than anything else, but like that's always been presented consistently with like what he can do in the ring and stuff. So that's completely fine to me. Like, the whole stuff with like him teleporting around the ring. Oh no, it was holograms, wasn't it? That's what it was. It was a fleet of Vanguard ones doing holograms. Like, I love that kind of stuff, but it kind of like it just leans into the daftness of stuff. Yeah. That's what I really enjoy it. But I think like there's a lot of that's almost kind of like I can't think of the word, like poison to a part of the market. It's like, no, I don't want that. I just want, men in black tights, back trunks, just kind of knocking lumps out of each other. Which, no, let's have some fun with it, because the whole thing is inherently daft. So let's just embrace it when we have to.
Exactly. And I think the Stadium Stampede match is based on a match that happened in DDT involving Minoru Suzuki and Sanshiro Takagi, and a lot of the spots in that match originated in that match, but the context of it made complete sense. Yeah. But if you were to present that match in the middle of a blood feud, it'd make no sense.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So, but no, I completely get that.
Like, you wouldn't put, like, the way they presented Jon Moxley in AEW, you wouldn't put him in that match.
No,
because it wouldn't make any sense.
no.
Like, but the kind of heightened characters like the Inner Circle and the Elite and all that kind of stuff, they kind of fit into that slightly surreal world, which, you know, you get in the Being the Elite show as well with Matt Hardy explaining terms of his wrestling terms with Broken Brilliance, which I don't know why it makes me laugh. But every time he pauses the universe, pauses the multiverse and comes in and explains what he is, it's just brilliant. I've got a lot of time for that show at the moment.
All right. What about the rest of you guys?
Does Al want to go now?
Yeah.
Okay, if you want me to.
Based off his last one, shouldn't we save Al to last, just to be on the safe side?
Oh, no, this one's not as good as my Austin rant, so I'll go now.
Oh, okay, go for it.
Sorry, guys, this isn't as good.
If this is the Bushwhackers, I'm hanging up.
Well, I'll see you later, Ewan.
Okay.
This is a match. This is a match that I've seen get negative stars, right?
Oh, God.
Fairly crapped upon. But I watched this match as it happened. Well, still live, you know, maybe a couple of days after on video. And I really liked it. I really, really liked this match. And it's exactly what Phil was saying before about wrestling doesn't have to be by the numbers, 60-minute, you know, 5-star matches and stuff like that. It can have stupidity in it. But some people don't like stupidity on wrestling. Okay, I will grant this does rate quite high on the stupidity scale.
I can't wait to find out what this is.
I was going to say, has anyone worked it out? Yeah, I don't think you will. It's an obscure match.
Punjabi prison.
No.
WLC. It's WLC, isn't it?
No, it's 1993. That's the year.
Oh, Lord, okay.
Oh, Christ. Has it got Crush in it?
No.
Oh, it's not Men on the Mission and the Doinks in the Survivor Series, is it?
That is exactly what it is, Phil.
Oh my God.
Sorry. This is right. Okay, let's put this into context.
Oh my God! I can't believe I caught that.
Well done. What it was is Survivor Series 1993. Bam Bam Bigelow's team consists of Bastion Booger and the Head Shrinkers.
Oh God, I remember this.
And then they were going up against Doink the Clown. Now, I was never a big Doink fan. I can appreciate better now the Matt Bourne stuff as I'm older.
Evil Doink was brilliant.
Back in 93, I couldn't appreciate it that much. I thought it was a bit silly. And then I hated it even more when the other guy played him and he was just a generic babyface with Dink. I couldn't stand that version of Doink in 94. I thought that was absolutely ridiculous. But as it happens, I didn't know what was coming because I didn't have Sky at the time. I just watched the tape. My friend taped it for us, and I was watching it. I didn't know, like, some wrestlers on the card, like Adam Bomb. Never seen Adam Bomb before. Didn't know why Bret Hart was wrestling against these knights, and Shawn Michaels suddenly had a bunch of knights. No idea why, but anyway, I was watching it. Anyway, so yeah, it came to, and then I think the other weird match was the Rock and Roll Express against the Heavenly Bodies, which...
Oh, Christ, yeah, that was out of nowhere, wasn't it?
The other one. But anyway, I suddenly came across this Doink match, and it said against the 4 Doinks. And like I said, I wasn't a big Doink fan. And then it played Doink's like music at first. That bit. And then it went into the Bushwhackers theme. And I remember sitting there thinking, oh, that's the Bushwhackers theme. I just assumed it was something that another wrestler used in the Bushwhackers theme. I'm like, the Bushwhackers theme. And then what happened? The Bushwhackers come out dressed as Doinks.
I forgot the Bushwhackers were in it. It's Bushwhacker Doink and Bushwhacker Luke, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Sorry, Bushwhacker Doink Luke.
I quite like the Bushwhackers. That's I could
as we all know.
I could have done them alone, to be fair.
Oh my!
And I remember like, oh great! I love the Bushwhackers. The Bushwhackers are fighting in the match. And then Men on the Mission I didn't know who Men on the Mission were. That was the first time I'd ever seen them. And yeah, they were dressed as clowns. As the match went on, they had lots of silly shenanigans, like one of the head shrinkers slipped on a banana peel to get pinned.
Was it one of the head shrinkers eating an entire turkey carcass?
Yeah, that Bastion Booger's eating a turkey, and then Luna Vachon, they're like, I think they're throwing buckets of like confetti, and then the last one had water in it, and they soaked Luna Vachon and stuff. And there's a bit during the match where one of the Bushwhackers gets the scooter and he just starts scooting around the ring on it.
Yeah.
No, he's got a scooter. What is going on? This should be your favorite, McMahon. Food fight. What is going on? This is Animal House. I mean, Mo, Mabel, and now that's Mo getting the attention of Fatu can't believe his eyes. The referee's giving up. He don't have a chance.
Oh my God, I thought it was brilliant. I mean, people have absolutely panned it, but I'm like, I think this is absolutely fantastic. You know, it's good entertainment, I thought. Like,
wasn't there a bit in the match? Oh, God, I'm trying to remember it. Where like at one point, Bam Bam Bigelow goes, "No, we're going to have a match," and he starts taking it really seriously.
Oh, look at the drop kick by Bam Bam. Oh my goodness! Knocked him right off his scooter. And the scooter. Whoa! No. Bam Bam means business. Yes, he does.
Yeah, that's exactly that kind of ties into the storyline. You know, he's trying to he's trying to
take it seriously. Like, no, yeah. I'm going to beat you up because that's what I do. And they're like, yeah, it's like Bush. Is it Mo Doink going around on a scooter or something, or Mabel Doink?
Yeah, I thought it was a Bushwhacker, but I think you're right. I do think it's Mo who's.
It's just like, oh God, yeah.
Well, I thought it was silly entertainment, but I was entertained. I mean, the match itself goes on less than 10 minutes, so I don't think it can be that offensive. But what I liked, because like I said, I love the Bushwhackers, and they actually won a match. They actually.
That's a good point.
I was expecting them.
No one got eliminated, did they? None of the Doinks got eliminated.
I thought they dropped out in seconds, but no, the Bushwhackers won a match, and that was. I can't do the maths properly in my head, but I think that was only the second time you've seen the Bushwhackers win on pay-per-view.
Sounds about right.
When was the first?
WrestleMania 5, I think.
Wow.
I don't think they've won since WrestleMania 5.
Was that against the Rougeos?
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And, Royal Rumble 90. They had a rematch against the Rougeos at Royal Rumble 90, so maybe that was the last one.
Yeah, I remember that. They hit him with the battering ram, didn't they, the Rougeos, and pinned him.
All the Survivor Series, they've dropped out that. They were in 89, 90, 91. They were supposed to be in 92, but they were substituted. But, like, they've dropped out of every single Survivor Series. And here they are. They've actually won the Survivor Series match. The Bushwhackers. And I thought they kind of tied in well to the storyline that at the end of the match, the Doink comes on the screen and starts teasing Bam Bam about his mystery team and stuff. And I just thought the storyline was okay. I just don't know why people are so offended by it. But again, is it things taken out of time context? You know what I mean? Like,
probably there's like
now it mightn't be, but watching it in '93, I thought it was perfectly acceptable. Maybe that's just me, but I thought it was perfectly acceptable in '93.
You've got Men on a Mission in the match, which is a negative tick straight away, and you've got Babyface Doink in it as well. That's I think the kind of
wasn't in it. He was just
he's like the
yes.
Yeah, but like his kind of like persona is all over the match, the kind of babyface Doink, when Evil Doink was clearly the best Doink. So I think and those two, like Men on a Mission and Good Doink, they're both like negatively looked down on.
You've also got the Bushwhackers and Bastion Booger in the match, but there you go.
Yeah, it's just kind of confluence of like not necessarily bad gimmicks, but bad gimmicks and things all in one match. Which, I'm sure I remember watching at the time because isn't Bobby Heenan still on commentary then? 93.
Yeah.
So I mean that's enough to carry the match by itself. Even on commentary, just running them all down. But yeah, like I can probably understand like you enjoying a match that people like because WLCI mentioned just now. Like I watched that again this week because it was put onto the YouTube channel on the WWF YouTube channel, and that's a ridiculous match. Like it's stupid and borderline offensive, but the bumps that some of the guys taking it for that match is ridiculous, and for that reason I love it so much because they're just putting their full heart into this kind of stupid idea, and it comes out and makes it like an enjoyable match. I think
like the finish to the Survivor Series match because Mabel pins Bam Bam, and then the rest of the team just pile on top.
They just pile on, don't they?
Just comes to 3. There you go. But I just thought it was. I think my fondness for the Bushwhackers is one of the reasons why I liked it so much as a kid.
But I think there's the context well because you can't have an entire card like that, can you? You can't do like a whole
you
match
can't,
like that.
But like, it's kind of like you've got they're trying to do the serious Smoky Mountain Wrestling, which I think a lot of WWE fans weren't too keen on. I know I wasn't. That was the match before, and then the main event was after. You had the foreign fanatics against the All Americans. Was kind of the
legal, wasn't
thing.
it?
Yeah, that was kind of the serious thing. Hey, like I said, I really enjoyed it, but I think it's mainly down to the Bushwhackers' involvement. Maybe if it was another team, I wouldn't enjoy it as much. But wrestling doesn't have to be 5-star classics all the time. It can just be things like the hardcore division, for instance. That was garbage at times, but it was entertaining, wasn't it? It was fantastically entertaining a lot of times.
Yeah, it's all watching Al Snow already. If I see Al Snow in another car park, I'll just you're
out. Well, it's how you build a wrestling like a pay-per-view card, isn't it? You've got to have different kind of matches for different kind of flavors to kind of build up the entire thing, haven't you? Your kind of gritty technical match, your kind of light-hearted comedy match, your whatever kind of match. It's all those kind of threads how you build up a card, isn't it?
And that's one big failing of these WWE shows that have got a theme, like Hell in a Cell, for example. Why are the women in the Hell in a Cell match? There's no need for them to be there. You've just slapped them in there because it's this month. It has to be that kind of match. So
yeah, I agree with that.
Again, it's context is a massive thing in professional wrestling. If you get that right, you can put on whatever you want. But if you get that wrong, it's a disaster.
Yeah. For like a Cell match, like the feud has to warrant it to get to that point, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like with the feud's right, it kind of builds like Sasha Banks and Bayley back in NXT. You probably could have done like a Cell match with them at the end of their feud. They could have kind of built up so much. Yeah. At that point, would have worked fine. But just crowbarring it. Oh, it's this month, so we've got to do a Cell match. Nah, that's not going to work, is it?
Exactly. I mean, we live in a year where we're in a fucking chairs match now. It's like, what the hell is this? But anyway, I digress.
Just a quick amendment. Arthur Cox was the Newcastle manager. I was trying to think of. But,
Thank you for the clarification, Al. It's very professional of you.
The assistant manager at the time was Steve Clark. Was the assistant manager at the time?
So he would have been like the kind of Pat Patterson or Thingy Briscoe kind of.
Hang on, are we saying Hullet's nothing to do with this?
No, Hullet's McMahon, isn't he?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
but he needs his lackeys, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay. So
what are they called? They weren't the lackeys, were they? They were the
Stooges.
Stooges, that's it. These are Stooges. Yeah, so Steve Clark could be Pat Patterson or Joe Briscoe to kind of come out and get a bump, take a stunner from Stone Cold Alan Shearer. Can't believe we just said that out loud.
That's just brilliant. This episode has just gone sky high because of that alone.
Yeah. Stone Cold Alan Shearer. Get it
Stone
on the
Cold
t-shirts.
Alan Shearer it'll be happening.
Get it on Pro Wrestling Tees. Alan Shearer's store.
Oh God.
Oh, who's next?
I don't know. I'll go if you want.
Yeah, go for it.
Go.
So again, this is just a personal thing for me. This is a aspect of wrestling that I know people detest. People write off as garbage wrestling. People write off as, why does this exist? There's no need for it. But the one thing in professional wrestling that I really enjoy, and I know for a fact a lot of people hate, is deathmatch wrestling.
Ooh.
Okay.
Like the Mick Foley, Terry Funk things, or
yeah, that kind of level, just where deathmatch wrestling is in 2020. My first exposure to deathmatch wrestling was on the long-missed The Wrestling Channel, which was probably one of the greatest channels ever created on Sky. I think we could all agree.
For a brief period of time as well.
Yeah, they showed a wide variety of things, and one of the promotions they showed was Combat Zone Wrestling, CCW. And I think for me, that was the first time I got to witness deathmatch wrestling the way it was at the time, not just watching the IWA Japan King of the Deathmatch 1994, where you've got Terry Gordy rolling around in barbed wire for whatever reason at Kawasaki Stadium. But this is the first time I think I probably saw like panes of glass being used. I saw light tubes being used, and teenage you, and I was just like, the living hell is this? This is insane. But at the same time, to me anyway, it wasn't just two guys standing in the ring basically doing a Rochambeau with light tubes over and over again. They could actually wrestle. They actually had technical ability. It just happened to be that there was barbed wire, there was glass, there was whatever involved. And I think a lot of people miss that bit out, that this isn't just wee Jimmy and Bobby for the pub having a fight at the back of the Sparrow Inn. And they just happened to have stumbled across a B&Q warehouse or something like that. Went, you know what, we'll continue this in here.
We'll continue in the B&Q. Off we go.
We'll go into the B&Q.
Well, that's the kind of brush it gets tied with, isn't it? It's the kind of two uncoordinated oafs battering each other with DIY equipment.
And that does exist. There's bad deathmatch wrestling out there. Believe me, I've seen it. I've seen some terrible deathmatch wrestling where it's literally just two fat white Americans hitting each other for no reason. I'm going to go back to Japan again. Big Japan is probably the best proponent of that style of wrestling in the world, in my opinion anyway. But the people involved in that, they can actually wrestle. They actually can do fantastic technical wrestling. It's just that they've chosen to integrate the weapons into it. And it's not just a case of they're attacking the weapon zone because they can't actually wrestle. The moves are almost sort of, without the glass or whatever, the move is still great, but it lacks that impact that you might have. And a lot of the times, some of the stuff you see in clips or YouTube clips, it just looks absolutely insane. But to get to that point where you've got perhaps, let's say, a couple of log cabins of light tubes set up on a table, there's maybe been a whole 20-minute sequence to get to that point. It's not just, right, we'll just jump in the ring and build up like glass like Lego and see how high we can get it before we put somebody through it. There's actual psychology, there's actual logic to what's going on. Again, it's just they happen to have painted glass or whatever it might be, Lego and thumbtacks, whatever. But to me, I can connect to that because it's almost, I guess the way to like it is kind of going back to the whole visceral nature of watching a gladiator, for example. You know they're getting hurt. You know that they probably are not feeling so great right now. But I think it's just that whole thing of watching somebody fight through all that and get to the end and win, especially if it's a wrestler that you're invested in or something that you really just want to see get their ass kicked. If you get to see them get their ass kicked and see them suffer almost and see the hero at the end of the day come out, they might be beaten up, they might be bloody, they might be, whatever it might be. To me, it's just another added aspect of professional wrestling that makes it the fantastic art form that we all love to watch. And I can watch a completely technical match without a problem at all. I love technical wrestling. I can watch that quite happily. But at the same time, I can also appreciate the complete batshit craziness that can happen in Big Japan, Freedom, CZW, whatever it might be. But it needs to have that context of the wrestlers need to be wrestlers and not just two fat, overweight men, if you get what I mean. I know a lot of people see it and write it off, go, oh, this is just fucking garbage, etc. But for people that can appreciate it and enjoy it, it's a whole different world that is, it's the same, but it's very different.
Yeah, no, I get that. I think, again, it is just like, as long as it's kind of done, like you say, with the right build-up and done the right way, like it can be as good as any other match. It's just they're using different tools to get to that point than than somebody in Ring of Honor or whatever doing like a more kind of ground-based, mat-based match, aren't they? So,
does it not suffer a little bit from the fact that obviously the logic that goes behind wrestling sometimes is if we make this match, for example, a no DQ and introduce weapons, that means we can cover up for some technical shortfall. Yeah, and maybe deathmatch wrestling carries that to what some people might see as a logical extreme. Yeah, if it's a death match, then the two guys mustn't be able to wrestle, so they're just covering up.
That's definitely a stigma that deathmatch wrestling has, and I think that stigma exists with plenty of evidence because it's been quite evident that if a guy can't wrestle, as long as he can pick up like a 2x4 wrapped in barbed wire and twat somebody with it, or
can I give an example?
Yeah, go for it.
Right, well, let's remember WrestleMania 26, I think, Bret Hart versus Vince McMahon.
Oh, Lord.
Anyone hoping that would cover the match, but sadly, the fucking Goodyear Blimp couldn't cover that match.
I kind of wish the Goodyear Blimp crashed into the fucking arena at that point in time.
It was just one of the worst things. I mean, talk about things people love. I think unanimously, everyone hates that match. I don't think there's many people out there who love that match.
I don't think you could defend that match in any logical way.
It was so bad and went on so long that I think it actually almost turned Vince's face. Because I started going, I feel really sorry for him. He's just getting the shit kicked out of him.
All the Hart family, wasn't he?
Yeah, including Bruce, who has to get a shot in somewhere.
Of course he does.
The guy's 60 odd and he's getting beat up. It's like, if only Alan Shearer was here to save him.
Yeah.
My
God. Oh, God. Stone Cold Alan Shearer's going to live for a long, long time, isn't he?
He really
He's going to live for a long, long time.
I hope he does.
Well, he's bald now as well, so he should give it.
It kind of works, yeah.
That makes the Photoshop even easier.
He's got a number 9, number 9 jersey, not 316. They're just
Stone Cold 916 says, "I just scored against your crappy goalkeeper."
No, Phil, no, come on. That was just bad.
That was just shoehorned.
Yeah, it was.
Really was.
That's what we're known for. That's our gimmick, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, but that's really it. I mean, I get people just see it and go, "How the hell can you watch that? It's like watching a horror film." Well, yeah. Why do people watch horror films?
Yeah, it's cathartic, isn't it?
It's the same thing, kind of. I know that's actually happening as opposed to a horror film's not actually happening. It's happening in the context of a film, that kind of thing. But I could go on about this topic for ages. But that's really the one thing to me that I really enjoy, and I know a lot of people hate and write off as garbage. Hi, Jim Cornette.
Yeah.
Hi, Jim.
You old fucking twat.
Bastard.
Anyway. So I think that leaves us with Mr.
Cameron.
Phillips.
Bringing it home.
It does. Aye. I kind of struggled with this side of it. I wasn't sure what to pick or what, and eventually
I found it hard as well, to be honest, because I just love wrestling. So
yeah, exactly. I was the same. I was like, kind of going, there's not much stuff that I really like that everyone else hates. It tends to be. So I think I'll probably kind of twist it a bit and say I like a particular wrestler that the Vince McMahon and the other higher ups at WWE seem to just hate. Before I came on to the podcast tonight, I watched his entire WWF run, or WWE run rather, and it took about 20 minutes.
Hang on, let's see if we can guess who it was, because I watched the WWE run the other day, and that was 2 promos and 2 matches.
You watched who? Sorry,
Chronic.
Okay, right, okay.
I watched their WWE run with 2 promos and 2 matches, I think it was.
Right.
So you say a 20-minute run in WWE?
20-minute run, probably about the same, probably about, maybe more promos, but about the same amount of matches.
Oh, okay.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Is it somebody I would know, Cam, or talking a bit more modern?
It's not that modern.
Can I take a guess?
Go on then, Ewan.
Are you talking about Mordecai?
I'm talking about Mordecai.
Hey!
Kevin Fertig, a.k.a. Mordecai, who I thought was bloody brilliant. I really, really, really liked him as a character, and I thought, if you're going to go for the antithesis of The Undertaker, darkness, then they must have just started and just went, well, who could we have? How about just a white version of The Undertaker? Okay. And it's just... which makes it sound like he's going to be crap and just laugh, but, and it's one of those gimmicks, I think, that could have been utter crap in most people's hands. But for the promos that he did, Kevin Fertig's going for it. He's really shooting for the hills on this one.
I distinctly remember this.
His first match was Great American Bash, wasn't it?
Yeah, because he debuted at Judgment Day.
Judgment Day 2004 was the Scotty Too Hotty one.
Oh, Did he fight at the Bash as well? That's the one I thought it was.
I had a match that I had in my head. He wrestled Bob Holly.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
Yeah, and I was like, I kind of thinking, right, he must have what? And then I was just like, kind of going, he must do. I'm just reading on Wikipedia now, and there's no mention of it, of Bob Holly. But yeah, I'm the same as you, Al. I had him totally down as Bob Holly. When I looked him up, I was like, kind of going, oh, right, Scotty Too Hotty. And then I thought I must have got confused.
I distinctly remember the Mordecai teaser promos, and I remember at the time thinking, this looks quite good.
Yeah.
And then he came out at Judgment Day and he had the whole, like, full production, and it's like, okay, this guy seems legit.
Yeah,
but
he did.
Then
he fought Holly at American Bash 2004.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. Aye.
I just thought, basically, he had his Judgment Day intro, he had his big, he had the match at the Bash, and then he sort of just disappeared, but that was because he was sent back to OVW.
Yeah, I've got that there. Well, yeah, they gave him a gimmick and then they sent him away, back again to the training development. But it was kind of so obviously going to be kind of built up as a kind of foil for The Undertaker.
Mm-hmm.
And we never actually got to see that. And I think it would have been bloody... I mean, you know, who knows what the match would have turned out like? I don't know. But the actual build-up on the story probably would have been brilliant. I
think it's one of these feuds that would work better out the ring than in the ring.
Yeah, pretty much. I was thinking, yeah, the actual match quality wouldn't have been great, but the build-up and the whole like visuals for it would have been amazing. And let's face it, if you're going to give Undertaker someone at WrestleMania, you can't get much worse than Giant Gonzalez.
I would argue Great Khali, but never mind.
Well, yeah, but that was...
They're both sides of the same coin, surely.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
As a side note, did anyone see on the Undertaker documentary, by the way, Vince McMahon's rib on the Undertaker?
No.
Which bit was that?
It's this moment where they're meeting in the office and then they're discussing WrestleMania and Vince just starts with, Pat's been down to Argentina and, you remember Gonzalez? Well, he's got a son.
No, I didn't see it. I don't think I watched that one yet. That's brilliant.
Oh, God.
And Mark Calloway's just going, no.
Absolutely not.
So it was just, it was just funny. But yeah, anyway.
Brings him back from the grave and turns into Mecha Gonzalez. That's what happens.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Wrestles Robocop. There you go. Like Robocop 2.
A lot of just a very, very tall guy in a big tinfoil suit. Still with the hairy bits, though.
Yeah, Robocop 2 is the same film, only with Giant Gonzalez instead of Kane, and he goes into the robot suit. Boom, done.
Sweet Jesus.
And the robot's got like fur stuck on it strategically.
Of course, Alan. Of course.
Oh,
goes without saying.
Why am I just imagining like Ed 209 with wee pubes now? That's just wrong.
That's just all kinds of wrong. Let's
no,
go
Ed 209's Harvey
Whippleman.
Whippleman, so it's got the beard and the medical bag.
And it just goes, Robocop, rah, rah, Robocop, rah, rah. That's
so, yeah, before we go down another Robocop tangent, Mordecai was brilliant.
I have a question for you. When Mordecai returned from OVW as Kevin Thorne, what did you think?
Just that was boring. It was a kind of crappy vampire gimmick. You might as well, I don't buy vampire gimmicks. Because it obviously just sat there and goes, oh, Twilight's popular, isn't it? Let's stick him as a vampire.
But what was it specifically about the Mordecai character? You could argue it's the same sort of
but I think it was
world thing.
I think it was just the fact it was kind of like a religious-based gimmick.
Okay.
He was essentially
like a cult leader sort of thing?
Yeah, he was kind of cult leader, but damning the audience to hell, kind of preacher. Apparently, he said in an interview his dad was like a kind of... high up in the Catholic Church. So he was like, he took a lot of inspiration from his dad and, the sort of Catholic ceremony and things like Mass and all that kind of stuff for it. And that comes across really well. But, he's like this, you'd think that this kind of like religious wrestler going on about, being guided by God or a God at the time would be like instantly, yeehaw America, on the Bible kind of thing. He'd be cheered to the hills, but he just managed to flip it completely. He's like, all the kind of like Hollywood thing of all the white, that, you know, anyone dressed in white is the good guy. Didn't have that. Totally a heel. Anyone who, you know, devout religious, always going to be the good guy. Nope, totally the heel. So he kind of defied a few of the expectations that you would normally have in that kind of effort. And as I say, it's the same with the Undertaker gimmick. In anyone else's hands, the Undertaker gimmick would have just been crap and just like laughed off within about a year. But because Mark Calloway utterly went for it, it became the character that we all know today. And Mordecai, I think, was the same. That, you know, they could have given that gimmick to anyone else, and it maybe wouldn't have been like as convincing. Obviously, it didn't last long, and whatever. They just lost all steam with it and just dumped it. But I think it could have just bombed even sooner had it not been, you know, for Kevin Furtick obviously going great guns with it.
It's the commitment, isn't it? When you commit to a gimmick, I think that always sells it to the crowd and to the viewer.
Yeah, totally.
When you really feel it.
It's kind of up there for me as in gimmicks that I loved but then died quickly. Like Waylon Mercy, I really loved as a gimmick. Even back in like 94 or whenever it was, when Dan Spivey was Waylon Mercy. He was come at the ring and shaking folks' hands, and then as soon as the bell rang, he dropped the whole gentleman act and just battered someone senseless. And then
After the wrong person, that was the problem, because he was pretty much knackered when
they often say Dan Spivey was pretty much carrying God knows how many injuries as soon as he signed, and then just couldn't go at the pace that they wanted him to, so they had to ditch the whole Waylon Mercy thing. But there's a lot of like Waylon Mercy in Bray Wyatt now, so but
there's always like if you talk about like you know, gimmicks that you really love didn't go any further, how they didn't turn Damien Sandow into a top level heel, I've got no idea at all, because he just the initial kind of brand you know, pink shorts, big robe, holding the microphone like a brandy glass, Damien Sandow, like that was just such a good. His promos were brilliant.
It was different.
Heel work was fantastic. Yeah,
it was unique.
It was like an old school heel, I suppose, but like he did it so well. And again, he committed to it so much that it just carried it off so well. And that could have been like a top level heel, but then it just kind of petered out, and then
they could have turned him into a top level face as well, because he threw everything into the Mizdown gimmick, didn't he?
Oh, totally,
he could have got massively over them, but they wouldn't let him go anywhere. They just kept holding him back.
Yeah. There's a few times where like it just needed the trigger pull, and he would have been massive. Like why he didn't win the like when he won the Money in the Bank and he failed to cash it in on John Cena. It's like that's a big failure, because like that would have probably put him over the top. But yeah, like, you know, there's probably loads of people out where it's like, oh, but like you love him and thought the gimmick was brilliant, but it like he just doesn't connect with, you know, that person in charge, and you know that's dead pretty quickly, isn't it?
Yeah, aye, they'll soon haul him off telly.
Yeah,
but I mean, but Damien Sandow, Aaron Stevens he's in NWA now, isn't he? And he's brilliant in that.
Yeah. I think because he's been allowed to play that character we're just talking about to the full, and it works in that NWA environment. It's a very old school, very classic dickhead heel, and it works in that environment, and that's why he's been allowed, I think, to go.
It was the night he appeared on an episode of NWA for a match against Ricky Starks. Took off his gown, and he was wearing flesh-coloured gear.
Yes.
So it looked like, at first glance, that he was in the buff, and it was hilarious. Because the crowd were like, whoa! It was just like, and he was just living up to it completely. It was hilarious. Yeah, he wears like totally his skin tone exactly here.
When you commit to something, it makes it so much better, doesn't it? When you kind of fully into the gimmick and the role, like you know, with Mordecai, like, you know, anybody, once you fully commit to it, I think that's half of getting over it. It's just you just kind of fully leaning into it and going for it, and then it helps you connect.
So
but it was boy. But yeah, we both hate and love a lot of stuff, don't we? We can't have a winner out of that, can we? Like with the normal roundtables.
I think
not really. No, I was going to say
discussion one.
Roundtables are always
the best thing that we hate, and this is the best thing we love that everybody else. No, it's not going to work.
Yeah, I think this should be the format of future roundtables. This style works a lot better, I think.
Just have a conversation. We don't have to pick the best. As long as we acknowledge that the Bushwhacks are the greatest tag team, and we can just
you see, that's my problem.
I knew it was going to be your problem.
That's my problem.
Well, talking about problems,
Fucking bushwhackers.
Who's driving the Conquistadores bus?
Next time round, I'm pretty sure it was Al.
I think it is.
Oh shit.
And Al ended the last episode with an idea of what he was doing, but he wasn't going to tell us.
No,
I have a funny feeling he's forgotten what that idea is.
I've just forgotten the year. So
Okay.
All right, okay.
Don't do a film and give us the wrong year.
No.
I'm going to double check.
Listen, I formally apologise for that at the time.
I know you did. I still haven't
And we
forgiven
got a
you.
good show out of it. We talked about the what was it, Super Ninja, whatever, the Yeti, I think
We
it was.
talked about the wrong show.
Sorry, the Yeti.
The Yeti.
Oh no, I got it right first time. I've googled it and got it right first time.
That's
Okay.
Right, I've went for WCW again.
Yay!
Ooh,
My
Al's
goodness.
WCW show.
Yeah.
Controversial?
I've decided I've kind of got a little gimmick almost by accident, so I'm going to stick to this gimmick.
If this is some... Oh, God. Okay, go. I want to see what this is.
Well, like, if you remember, I did the Brawl for All once upon a time.
Oh, no.
Burn into my soul.
And then the last one I got to choose was a wrestling classic.
I'm scared.
Can you see where I'm going with it?
I think I know where you're going, Alan. I don't like
Weird
it.
pay-per-view events.
Mummy, hold me.
No, it's not that bad.
Al, can I take a guess?
Go on,
Are we going to 1988?
We are not you and no. I'm not. You weren't doing the Bunkhouse Stampede, were you? No.
I was thinking that, yeah.
Guys, just on an off note, I watched the main event the other day, Steel Cage Battle Royal.
Mm-hmm.
Who on earth thought the Steel Cage Battle Royal would work? Eh?
Probably Dusty Rhodes.
Dusty Rhodes, come on. Odds on cert, surely.
Well, the point is to throw him over the top rope. It's like, well, we got a steel cage now. Come on. And
Throw him over the top steel cage?
High. So you throw him out the door, or you get him to the top of the cage and then gently knock them down because they don't want to take a big bump off the top of the cage.
We'll pop the Bunkhouse Stampede in the category of should have had the more thought.
So, have you ever wondered, probably not, what would happen if wrestling in the World Cup clashed?
Oh,
what?
Okay. I think I've got a vague idea.
You would get the Wrestling World Cup.
Oh my
What?
God! Yes, I remember this.
Which is held at Starrcade
95.
90.
90? Oh.
Yeah.
Hang on. Starrcade 90. Googling this right now.
And yeah, you get the Wrestling World Cup. See
Wow.
the nations clash of USA, South Africa, Mexico,
God.
the UK, Japan, New Zealand, the Soviet Union, and Canada. Of course, I'm very disappointed. To me, there's only two great wrestlers to come out of New Zealand, but they are not in this tournament.
This show has 14 matches on it.
Like I said, this is going to be my gimmick. And,
It also contains a Texas Lariat match. What the living hell is that?
This bodes well. I still need to do the work on the comparison between the number of matches to the quality of the pay-per-view.
Oh my God.
I still need to do work on that.
Match 7 on the card, Dan Spivey and Sid Vicious against the Big Cat and the Motor City Madman. Holy fuck.
no, it's a big cat in a Motor City Madman.
Oh, sorry. Whatever.
Yeah,
They
they found some guy on the motorway who keeps a tiger as a pet, and that's who they found.
This is going to be a good one. I can just feel it in my bones.
Little Sid Vicious power bombs that tiger. I'll tell you, that's a good spot.
The Seaman's back.
Thank God.
Oh my God! It's the main event's the Black Scorpion thing with Sting.
The main event constitutes one of the most terrible angles ever in wrestling. That's the main event as well. That's a cherry on the shit pie.
What's the Bruiser special referee?
Is the Arachnoman in this anywhere? He's got to be in there, surely.
No, I don't think so.
He's been stamped on backstage.
Wow. I've just got one sentence in the Wikipedia here, and it's just going to be a culmination of the whole thing. I think it's like then the Black Scorpion made his entrance through a thing Jim Ross described as a spaceship.
Yes.
I've given some good ammo for the next one. I think.
That should be absolutely cracking.
Al, I hate to say this right now, but this might be making the lower top 5 of the list.
Well, it possibly is, but I think it'll be an experience for us all.
We'll give it a go. Who knows? It might surprise us.
Al, you never disappoint with your choices, I'll say that much.
Yep.
Stargate 1990 Collision Course.
I should also say half the guys on the card are one that's on the appearances, but there you go.
I was going to say they're dead. They probably are, to be honest.
Probably. Shame the next night.
Okay.
Wow.
Then I've got a little alternate for us.
Ooh, what?
Oh, all right. Hold on.
Not that exciting, but like I said, this is the World Cup of Wrestling. I don't want to be harsh, but it seems to be full of jobbers. So a little challenge for us all separately to book our own World Cup of Wrestling.
Ooh. How many? Is it singles or tag teams?
Just do the tag team 8 brackets. So
8 brackets. So 8 teams.
Teams, yeah. Just do that. You can use anybody from any era, sort of thing. A nice little fantasy thing of how you would book it, and which team would. You can use different countries if you want. You don't have to use the countries they've got. But,
I like this idea.
Just to do one each, just have a little.
So what, like 8-team knockout?
Yeah.
All right, okay.
So 8 tag teams.
You can indeed use kayfabe countries if you want, in the sense of like Yokozuna, Japan, and stuff like that. What?
So you could have the Ultimate Warrior and Papa Shango from Parts Unknown.
You know what? I would not rule that out in the slightest. But
Of course you wouldn't. Because I mentioned Ultimate Warrior, Papa Shango.
The Shango Warriors.
Shango Warriors. The Wangos.
No, not that.
Careful.
Exactly. Get the Warriors saying that'd be amazing.
Oh, can you imagine
Papa Warriors.
that? Oh, when we wango.
Never say that ever
pour
again.
off his face.
So join us next time for the World Cup of Wrestling.
Nice. I can't wait.
Can you?
Maybe.
Can you wait? Because I think I can.
I think I can.
Also want to say that this gimmick was so successful, it is the only time they've done it.
I think it was so stunning the first time round, they didn't want to waste an audience on it again.
Exactly.
No, well, in fact, they thought 4 years was too long, too short. Every World Cup was 4 years. So I think they've decided to do it 40 years. So you just wait till 2030, where WCW hold the next Wrestling World Cup.
That's some hella long-term booking plans there.
At some point, we'll sort out like what was the best one-time. Actually, I can look now, can't I? So the best kind of one-time pay-per-view gimmick.
WWE December to Dismember.
Breaking Point.
I think it was the War 92. Well. No, they did that again, didn't they? They repeated that.
Guys, round table topic. That's one right there.
Yes, it is.
I think for the single time they did the pay-per-view, the Wrestling Classic at number 22, that's the top so far of the list.
I quite enjoyed that as well.
Because everything else they did more than once. Like Wrestle War 92's got the what's it called?
The Lottery.
The Lottery and the double cage match thing. I can't War Games. But they did that more than once, didn't they? So.
Oh yeah, they had loads of War Games matches.
Yeah,
some of them.
So the only one that's
others.
happened, the only kind of pay-per-view gimmick that's happened once is the WWF Classic at number 22. That's the highest one.
Whoa! I think you're forgetting the Brawl for All.
That's dead last. That is dead. Speaking of which, did anybody watch the Dark Side of the Ring about the Brawl for All?
I did indeed.
No,
it's well worth your time.
Oh, okay.
Just like it basically just like starts talking about it, and then it turns into like the blood feud between Jim Cornette and Vince Russo, and how the whole thing started because Vince Russo wanted to show JBL up.
Yeah, because did it not the entire thing not start because Bradshaw just went, I could kick anyone in a legitimate fight in this locker room?
Yeah. And Vince Russo was like, okay, then.
All right then,
here we go. And then it turns into quite the tragic story of Bart Gunn.
Yeah, poor Bart.
Yeah, so it's well. I mean, all those shows are well worth your time, but that's a good one. That one.
All right.
Yeah,
nice.
Killed the energy of the room, but yeah, there you go. There's a recommendation for you.
Well, we've ended on Bart Gunn, so what do you expect?
with his giant golden glove.
You know,
Jesus.
We started tonight with Stone Cold Alan Shearer, and you've ended it with Bart Gunn.
Sorry. Stone Cold Alan Shearer.
Come on.
Oh, God.
Does that mean, like, if Rob Lee's his best pal, does that make him Paul Bearer?
End the show now.
All right, Jesus. I thought
Why
that was
would
quite
it be
good.
not Paul Bearer? But
Yeah, I was going to say, why would he be Paul Bearer?
Because, like, earlier on, Alan was saying that Rob Lee was, like, his best pal. And I'm
that would be Jim Ross, would it not?
Yeah, I was going to say it was Jim Ross.
No, we're sorting this out. Who's the Paul Bearer? Oh, no.
It's Undertaker. Undertaker's not in this plot.
I've completely gone sideways, haven't I? For some reason, I got completely crossed over with Undertakers, yeah. Don't know how I did that.
Yeah, there's that rare scene of Steve Clark and Ruth Hullett breaking breeze blocks on Robert Lee's head.
I'll edit that out. I'll make myself sound much better than that.
Yeah. You usually do.
I do, yeah. Edit out all my faux pas normally.
Wow, the ring is a mess. It looks like the table when Bastion Booger eats.